This kid is very, very special and he's going places.
Stuart Stabler was one of the most exciting prospects in Muay Thai.
Stuart Stabler, I will guarantee, is a star for the future, and if you don't know about him yet, you know about him now.
He gained a reputation for exciting fights and devastating finishes, and people knew that he was destined for greatness. And then, nothing. Stuart Stabler hasn't fought in 4 years, watching from the sidelines as other fighters from this golden generation went on to achieve greatness. I sat down with Stuart to talk about his return to fighting, the reasons for his time away, and his ambitions in the sport. The conversation started off talking about his last fight against Jono Chipchase in March 2020. So, March 2020, I remember watching it. I think I was watching the YouTube stream, you against Jono Chipchase. I'd heard about you before then. A few people had told me you got to watch this kid. Jono Chipchase, a veteran of the game even back then, and you took him to pieces in that fight. And we think, right, now's the springboard. Stuart's going to make a name, pushing to 1, and then you didn't fight for 4 years. Can you talk to me a bit about that period?
Yeah, so like I say, we trained for Jono March 2020. Then just after, I think it was like literally 2 weeks after that, we hit COVID. Allegedly, I was still training through COVID. I'm not going to say yeah or no. But it was just, we were trying to get fights in the pipeline and then nothing would come off because of COVID, whether visas got cancelled or stuff like that. So it wasn't really looking great. And then I had my own personal problems with stuff I don't really want to go into, but it just, I don't know, I think I lost that fire a bit at the time, and I just thought it's better to step away while the fire's not in it, because as people say, you know, if the fire's not there, then that's when things go wrong, and I didn't want to do that. So I just took my time and I thought I'll give it some time, and when I'm ready I'll come back. And I know everyone's been missing it because, you know, my fights are exciting and they still will continue to be exciting, but yeah, it was just that fire burnt out a little bit, but like you say, through coaching and being in the corner, it does bring that buzz back, and I thought I'm going to get back in there and I'm going to do my stuff.
Of course, the personal side is no one's business apart from your own,
yeah.
And we're not going to look into that, but you say the fire dampened, the fire went away. No one would have believed that, seeing that last performance. Talk to me about why the fire dampened.
I don't know, I think because I'm one of them people, I train hard, like I put my heart and soul into it. It's not just, oh, I'll train today. Like, I'll be doing like 3 sessions a day. I was so, how can I say it, obsessed. And I think I just got mentally tired of being on it 24/7. And then as well, going through COVID and still being on it 24/7 and then nothing happening. I think it was just like, well, what's the point if I'm not going to fight? And then the fire just, I don't know, I was waking up in the morning and I didn't really want to train. And I've never been like that. I was always get up in the morning, go for a run, do this, do that. So I was always consistently on it. And then for that to not be there, I thought something's not right.
What did that do to your own sense of identity? You know, this is something that you've dedicated your whole life to up until this point. How did you feel about yourself during that time?
You know what, it changed me completely because, as you say, I've been doing Thai boxing since I was 4 years old. I've had 20 years in the game, realistically, so doing something for 20 years and then you're not doing it all, it's like, what do I do now? You're sort of lost, that's how you feel lost, because you have a routine, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then suddenly you're not doing it. So I think you're constantly looking for that, something to strive in or something to wake you up in the morning, and then when it's not there, it's sort of, I don't know, it dampens your mood a little bit. But that's why I was so obsessed with the coaching and getting into the corner work, because it keeps you going in the sport. Like, I've been away for 4 years, but realistically, I've not been away. My mind's still been in the game. My IQ, even like I say with people coaching, is it builds your IQ up. Because you've got I'm training Lue, Jake Newman, I'm training some quality fighters, so you still have to be on it, even with them. Simon knows that when you're padding fighters, it's completely different to just padding regular people who want to train.
And there has been a fight announcement literally in the last week.
Yes.
Talk to me about the moment, or it might have been a few moments where you thought, right, I'm serious about this, I'm getting back to the ring.
Like I say, just getting back into training and things gelling well together, get back sparring, and you realise that you've not lost the fire and it's still there. When you have good training sessions, whether you have bad training sessions, it's you've got to want it, haven't you? You've got, when you wake up, I want to train today. And that's what's back with me when I wake up. I want to train. I want to get in the gym. I want to rip pads. I want to spar. I want to do my strength and conditioning. So now that I know it's there and I want to do it, happiness.
4 years out, that's 4 years away from under the bright lights, being not the man in the corner, but the man in the centre of the ring.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel nervous?
I think there's always going to be nerves. I think a lot of fighters, if a fighter says he's not nervous, I think he's chatting shit, to be honest. Pardon my French, but it's part of the sport. I've always been one of them people, me, that if I'm really nervous, I know I'm going to be super sharp. It doubles your senses in a way. That's how I've always been a nervous fighter, but I love it because I know that when I get in there, I'm going to be so sharp and ready. So you can't really fear it. But yeah, I won't even say it. It's like when you're going through training camp, you do think about it being behind the curtain, waiting to go out. But like I say, I'm ready to do my stuff. If the nerves are there in my stomach, I know I'm ready to do my stuff.
And you know, you have fighters like, let's say, Khabib, for example, who retired at the top. You've got Andre Ward in boxing, retired undefeated, but people say he had a few more years in him. I mean, putting your name up with these greats, you've still got a lot to prove, but at the time you left, there's always going to be a certain mythology or certain expectations. Stuart Stabler was going to be the best British fighter ever. Now you're coming back, you kind of have to prove that. Do you think you've added to that expectation?
Well, I think, like I say, with time off, I've not really been out the game, so I've still been training and people come to our gym for sparring, so I've still been levelling up in different aspects. I feel like my style has changed a lot because I'm not an 18-year-old anymore that's just full of fuel. I've got to use my brain a lot more now, and so I feel like my style's changed a lot, and I feel like a lot of people are going to see that when I fight. I feel like it's going to be completely different and it's going to shock people, but we'll have to find out. When I get in there and the adrenaline's pumping through my veins, it might be a bit different. I might just start swinging, but I know it's going to be entertaining, nothing less.
I'm going to say you're probably going to break a few hearts saying your style's going to be completely different, because one thing was the elbows, the sharpness, the aggression.
That'll still be there. That'll still be there. When I say like changing my style, I feel like it's not so much my style, but the way I approach it. Still dangerous, still ready to go, but just timing's everything.
What's different?
Finding the rhythm. My flow's a bit different now. Going into different shots, different stances, you know, mixing it up. I feel like I'm not just stuck in one way now, where it's left foot forward, go forward, do my thing. I feel like angle changes, footwork, but it's all, like I say, once the adrenaline's going through you, you don't really know, do you? That adrenaline does something completely different to fighters. You can have one style, but when you fight, it completely changes. So it's just with timing, find out when I get in there, but if you believe it, then make it happen.
We're very much in a sort of golden era of UK Muay Thai fighters. We mentioned just before Jonathan Haggerty, Nico Carrillo, George Jarvis with an amazing win a couple of weeks ago. You were very much on the trajectory to be a core part of that group. What's it been like from the sidelines, seeing what these guys are achieving?
To be honest, I'm really happy that UK Muay Thai is doing well, because I do believe that UK it's probably, out of all the countries, the most talented. Like you say, George Jarvis coming through, well, he's already at the pinnacle now. Haggerty's already there, Nico's there, Alfie Pearce in RWS, he's doing things, just beat Sangmani. So for UK Muay Thai, and it's absolutely thriving. But it's another thing is now the next generation that's coming through. People from this gym, people from my gym, for UK Muay Thai, it's amazing. And being on the sidelines, knowing that could have been me, I don't look at it as a regret, because I'm a true believer everything happens for a reason. So my time will come, and if it doesn't come, it doesn't come. If it does, it does. You can't dwell on it, because then it's just not doing anything positive for you. Positive mindset's everything. So if you sit there and dwell on it, oh, it could have been this, or it could have been that, then you're just going to sit in doom and gloom about it. So it is what it is. I'm not really that fussed.
Is this an attitude that you developed, or is it something that over
Definitely
the 4
developed
years
it.
has come?
Yeah, developed it. My mindset was very different when I stopped fighting. But now coming back, it's having the people around you that thrive positivity into your coaches, your teammates, people you're sparring with. You've got to have that positive mindset that I am ready to do this and I'm ready to go. Attitude's everything when you're training. Even if you have it, say you're having a bad sparring session and you keep telling yourself, I've got this, I can do this, then that might make the difference in round 4, in round 5, when they start breaking, you start thriving. So yeah, I'm going to be ready.
And I like that you mentioned the sparring sessions. We have to talk about the sparring videos. These clips go viral.
Yeah.
Simon normally posts.
I usually get rinsed in them as well because everyone looks at me as a gym bully, but they don't see the 30 seconds before that when they're punching and kicking me in the head, do you know what I mean? So, don't get me wrong, we have hard spars and we have technical spars. There's a time and a place for it, you know, where you always feel each other's energy. If you're both going for it a little bit, then it's completely fine. But you do need your technical sparring as well because it just ups your IQ, try different things, try different stances. So yeah, the sparring's good, always.
Talk to me about the sparring, what you've learned from that, particularly over the last 4 years, because that's been your only real way of gaining that fight experience.
Yeah. When I first started training again, it was a bit difficult because obviously the fitness isn't there the same. Like there's being fit and then there's being fighting fit. And sparring's always your tell sign if you're usually ready to go. But now, like, you've got Bad coming through and Fazian from this gym, it's, you know, they are top fighters, killers. So when you get in rounds with them, that makes it like, because they're active, they're fighting every few weeks. So that gives you a tell sign that if you've still got it, if you can still keep it up with the new lads coming through, because they're only young as well, young killers. So sparring with them, it gives you confidence as well, because you know that these boys, they're stopping everyone, they're beating everyone. So if I can keep it up with these boys, then I don't see why I can't go at it again.
And coming back to the ring in November, is this you having a go, seeing where you're at, or is it you kick-starting what's going to be an impressive
I think it's a bit of both. I think it is a bit of both, because obviously I know that deep down the fire is there, and I want to go and I'm ready to go. But at the same time, I can only find out once I get in there if it's for me or not. And you know, like I say, I don't dwell on it. I just let it happen. I'll fight what it is. But I know that when I am in there, it'll be 100% from me. It always has been 100%. I've never had a fight that's been boring. It's usually always guns blazing from round 1. So, yeah.
And looking at mindset, something you said before reminded me of an interview I did with Nico Carrillo before. It's kind of that single-minded, look, I'm going to take the responsibility on my shoulders and really go for it. Talk to me about how you've developed just your positive mindset, that attitude of having positive people around you.
To be honest, I feel like, I know it sounds mad mentioning social media, but when you see all these top fighters like Nico, like Haggett, and you watch the training videos and the mindset that they have, I think that shows you that, you know what, I can do that as well. But as they say, it's putting your mind to it. When you're having them hard sessions, or you feel shit, or you're tired, you just got to keep telling yourself, I can do this. It'll be over at some point. It won't last forever, so ride it till the wheels fall off. But like Nico's so strong, like mentality, and even like we were saying about Jono Chip Chase before, another strong mentality. You've got to have that strong mentality, and the only way you're going to improve on that is by telling yourself that you can do it.
Do you visualise? You returned, do you visualise a lot of things?
All the time. I'm a very mental fighter. I picture it all the time, think about it all the time. Whether it's, like I say, being behind the curtain, being in the ring. Because I feel like I like to feel it mentally. Because your mental thing is the biggest thing when you're fighting. You have a fight, but before the fight, you have a mental fight. So I like to picture myself, so then when I am in that situation, it's not like a shock to the system. Oh shit, I'm behind the curtain, I don't know what to do. You've got to visualise, right, I'm in this moment now, and just take it step by step.
So 4 years out of the ring, you're there, your hands are wrapped, gloves are on, your fight's just finished, you're out next. How are you feeling then?
Nervous, but it's good nervous. It's mad because it makes me think about when I'm usually behind the curtain and stuff, and You can feel the gloves tight on your hands and your mindset's changing. And it's like a switch. It's hard to explain. As soon as that curtain opens, it's a switch. Everything's black. You can't remember much. Like, if I think of past fights that I've had now, in the actual ring, you can only remember like little moments. You don't remember every single round or every single thing you've done. It's like little glimpses. And that's the bit that I miss, is having your hands wrapped up, laced up, Vaseline on, mindset changes, and, you know, killer mode switched on. I don't like, so there's nothing that compares to that. So like we were saying before, is when you're away for 4 years and you're not doing that anymore, it's like you've lost something. Something's died and you've not got it anymore, but it's a completely different feel. I can't explain it. There's nothing that compares to it, and you'll be forever chasing it.
Talk to me about being in the ring. How cognizant are you of what's going on? And when you ultimately do get your hand raised, what's that feeling like?
It's crazy. It's like a blur. Things are working, but you don't even know you're doing it. It's just like a killer instinct switch. It just happens, whether you slip a shot or you throw a shot. It's like a natural reaction. But you don't get that in sparring. It's weird. You do when you're sweeping and stuff, but them killer shots, when the adrenaline's pumping through, it just happens so fast. And then when like something pulls off, whether you stop them or you cut them or you get your hand raised, the feeling, it's all worth it.
How much do you remember of that? Being 4 and a bit years ago, how strongly, how vividly do you remember getting your hand raised? It's
weird because obviously when I fight, I do go for the stoppage, but then when you actually drop them or you stop them, it's like a shock. It's like, wow, I actually did that. So it's a shock, but you've trained so hard to do that. So when it pulls off, it's like a relief. It worked. All the weeks and hard training, all the dieting, all the sparring, everything comes down to that moment. It's all gone to plan. And sometimes it might not, sometimes you lose, but that's part of the game. You can't dwell on it. Just move on. Go to the next one, then the next one, then the next one. So, yeah, it's positive mindset coming into this. So I know that I'm going to be ready.
I think that's a good place to end it then. What are your minimum expectations for yourself in November?
Be the best version of me that people have yet to see. Whether it be when I'm fighting, whether it be my fight IQ, the new style that I might bring out. You know, there's a lot that people have to look forward to when I'm fighting. There's a reason why I put bums on seats, and it's not because I'm a good fighter. It's because I'm an exciting fighter. People want excitement. That's why everyone loves one championship with the little gloves, because it brings something we've not seen before. Whether that's crazy KOs, absolute wars with the little gloves on. So yeah, it's exciting.